Are you a special needs parent who's worried about your child's long-term care? Are you worried that you might outlive your child? Are you wondering if guardianship might make sense for your child's future? Then you don't want to miss today's video. We're breaking down 2 simple questions that are going to help clarify and simplify the whole process regarding guardianship and long-term care for your child. Hey everyone, I'm Joanne from This Uncommon Journey, and I am a special needs parent just like you. My son Joe is 26 now, so I know just how complicated and overwhelming this journey can be. In fact, I learned a long time ago, it's not only the extra time and attention that our kids need, the process is also so much harder because we don't have good access to good information just like typical parents do. So that's why I created This Uncommon Journey, to give you solutions and options and information so that you can make the very best decisions for your child and also feel confident in the process while you're doing so. So today it's all about simplifying and clarifying the guardianship process. So stay tuned, because here's your options and information for a path forward. So before we dive into the questions, there's 2 points that I want to share with you regarding this whole process of long-term care and what options and solutions make most sense for your child. The first is sharing with you the definition of legal guardianship, because what it's about is taking away an individual's right to make decisions, the best decisions about his or her own life, and giving that authority to a whole other person entirely. So that being said, guardianship is a really serious undertaking, and it shouldn't be entered into without a lot of care and research and consideration. So to help you determine a little bit more about what your child might need in terms of level of care going forward, let's take a look at these 2 questions. Okay, so the first question is, what is your child's capacity? And this has to do with understanding. So at what level can your child take in information? How can they make an informed decision about that information? And can they share decisions and outcome and communicate that with other people regarding that information? So the second question I want to share with you is, what is your child's capability? At what level can your child, and is he or she now capable of using that information and using those decisions to carry out their life activities? So we all know that our kids need extra support, extra care, but it really comes down to at what level. So let's take a little bit more deeper look into, and let's explore these ideas further. With guardianship being really the maximum level of oversight, you want to now begin to assess where your child is at in terms of being able to understand the capacity and make decisions and carry out those decisions, and that comes down to capability regarding the key aspects of their life. So let's talk first financial. So where is your child being able to understand concepts regarding saving money and spending money? Would they be able to pay their own bills? Can they go out and work with different agencies to make sure that they get all the funding that they need and that's available to them as well? So that's on the financial side. The next one we want to consider is, where is your child's capacity and capability with regard to household decisions, right? Can they make good decisions and understand about those decisions and carry out activities related to finding spots where they want to live, right? Finding their new home, finding their new apartment. Within that space, within that living space, can they meal plan? Can they grocery shop? Can they actually cook for themselves? Can they also clean the house or clean their room? So this really comes down to an idea of independent living skill set. And even it covers topics regard to, Are they making healthy food choices, and are they exercising, and can they take good care of themselves? You know, if you have a son, is he able to shave himself, you know, without additional assistance? Or does your child also need assistance showering? So that's on the independent living and household end. The next one we want to talk about has to do with their own health care, right? Are they able to assess for themselves if they're not feeling well, what that looks like, what that feels like, and what those next steps would be? Can they call and make a doctor's appointment for themselves? Can they get to the doctor's appointment? Are they able to have reasonable discussions that they can understand regarding their own health care with a medical professional? If they take medicines, are they able to manage those prescriptions in terms of renewing them and refilling them, and then also ensuring that they're being taken every day? Finally, another consideration that I really think is an important one is, where does self-advocacy fall with all of this? Are they able to really speak for themselves, to say, this is the type of living arrangement that I want, this is where I'd like to travel to, I want to go to a ball game tonight? Can they really self-advocate for themselves, even with regard to wanting to get a job and knowing what that looks like, if they need a life skills or a job coach and things like that? So that idea of self-advocacy and being able to speak up for themselves and then really plan for themselves to make sure that they're living their very best life. So where does this all lead us? And as I mentioned before, not every child, not every young adult is going to need any type of legal guardianship. But what is the oversight that they might need? And a good way to begin to assess this is to work with your child's team at school, your child's medical team as well. And you probably have your own gut feelings and your own understanding of what your child's capacity is and what their capabilities are. So that being said, if your child is a little bit higher functioning, there's going to be a lower level of oversight that's needed. If your child isn't as high functioning or mid-level functioning, there's going to be a different or a higher level of oversight and support that might be needed currently and for the longer term. So those are the things that you want to begin to explore. Again, guardianship is a big undertaking. It's a legal undertaking, and there's a lot of different options as well that families can explore. But you do want to keep in mind that once your child turns 18, that you don't have the legal right to make decisions anymore regarding their health care or their financial decisions. So it's really important that this setup, this foundation, these decisions are made prior to your child turning 18. So you don't want to be caught in a situation where something happens to your child and you can't access them through doctor's records, you can't get information, or if something does happen to them and they're in a hospital, that you can't get in, you can't make good decisions about your child. So it's really important that you lay this out, that you define what makes good sense, and that you really take the steps to put in place the support that your child's going to need for the short term and for the long term as well. So that being said, guardianship is the highest level of oversight that a family would look to, but there's definitely other levels and there's other options. So you're going to want to stay tuned, because we're going to be sharing that information for you as well in one of our next videos. And then in addition, for families that are interested in exploring a little bit more about guardianship, we're kind of going to really break down what those steps look like and what that timeline looks like as well. So I did also want to tell you that we appreciate you watching. Thanks for watching today. And we do have a special link in the comments below. And for those families that are interested, it's a little bit more about guardianship and a checklist that families can utilize. And please feel free to access that. So for the upcoming videos, if you are interested in seeing those, please click on the subscribe button below and make sure that you're notified for our next review.